The 12 Olympian gods, power, passion, and the divine family of Mount Olympus. Have you ever gazed up at a thunderstorm and wondered if someone was throwing lightning bolts? Or felt the earth tremble and thought of a powerful god stirring in the depths? For thousands of years, the ancient Greeks looked at the world and saw not just nature, but the epic saga of the 12 Olympian gods. These weren't distant, abstract figures. They were a divine family, full of passion, jealousy, and power, ruling the cosmos from their magnificent palace atop Mount Olympus. Today, we're climbing that mythical peak to meet them one by one. We'll uncover their stories, their powers, and the incredible influence they still have on our world today. If you love mythology, history, and epic stories, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next journey into the past. Now, let the gates of Olympus swing open. Our story begins with the king, the one who sits on the highest throne, Zeus. With a flick of his wrist, he could command the skies, unleashing thunder and lightning upon the world below. As the king of the gods, his word was law. He overthrew his own father, the Titan Cronus, to usher in a new era of divine rule. But Zeus wasn't just a powerful ruler, he was also known for his countless affairs, which often brought chaos and drama to both gods and mortals. His symbol, the mighty eagle, represents his far-reaching sight and supreme authority over all. Beside every great king is a powerful queen, and on Olympus, that queen was Hera. As the goddess of marriage, women, and family, she was the ultimate matriarch. Her union with Zeus was meant to be the divine example of marriage, but it was fraught with conflict, mostly due to Zeus's infidelity. Hera was fiercely protective of the sanctity of marriage and would go to incredible lengths to punish those who crossed her. Her symbols, the peacock and the pomegranate, represent her regal beauty and the complexities of life and union. She was a figure of immense power, both revered and feared. Now let's leave the sky and plunge into the deep, tumultuous oceans, the domain of Zeus's brother, Poseidon. As the god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses, Poseidon's moods could change as quickly as the tides. With his mighty trident, he could stir up violent storms, split the earth open, or calm the waves for sailors. He was a wild, untamable force of nature, much like the seas he commanded. He also created the first horse, a gift to humanity that embodied his own powerful and free spirit. When you feel the ground shake or see the ocean's raw power, you're feeling the presence of Poseidon. Returning to the gentle, life-giving earth, we find another of Zeus's siblings, Demeter. She was the goddess of the harvest, agriculture, and the fertility of the land. It was Demeter who taught mortals how to cultivate the soil, sow seeds, and reap the bounty of the earth. Her story is famously tied to her daughter, Persephone. When Persephone was taken to the underworld, Demeter's grief was so profound that she caused the world to become cold and barren, creating the first winter. Her joy at her daughter's return brought back the spring. Through Demeter, the Greeks understood the cycles of life, death, and rebirth we see in nature every year. From the head of Zeus himself sprang our next Olympian, fully grown and clad in armor, Athena. The goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, and crafts, Athena was a brilliant tactician and a patron of heroes. Unlike her brother Ares, who represented the brutal chaos of battle, Athena stood for the intelligence and strategy needed to win a war and protect a city. She was the protector of Athens, gifting the city the olive tree, a symbol of peace and prosperity. Her wisdom was unmatched, making her a trusted advisor to gods and mortals alike. Her symbols, the owl and the olive tree, represent her sharp intellect and her gift of peace. Now let us turn to the golden light of the sun and the beautiful sound of music. This is the realm of Apollo, one of the most complex and beloved gods. He was the god of the sun, music, poetry, prophecy, and healing. With his lyre, he could create music so beautiful it could charm gods and mortals. As the god of prophecy, his oracle at Delphi was the most famous in the ancient world, offering cryptic glimpses into the future. But Apollo also had a darker side, capable of sending plagues with his silver bow. He represented order, harmony, and the pursuit of knowledge. Where there is a sun, there must also be a moon. And that brings us to Apollo's twin sister, Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, the wilderness, wild animals, and the moon. Artemis was fiercely independent. She roamed the forests with her band of huntresses, a protector of young girls and a master of the bow and arrow. She valued her freedom above all else and was a symbol of untamed wild nature. As the goddess of the moon, she represented the mysterious, ever-changing light in the night sky, a quiet but powerful force in the cosmos. Now let's step onto the battlefield, into the heart of raw, untamed conflict. Here we find Ares, the god of war. But unlike Athena's strategic warfare, Ares embodied the brutal, violent, and chaotic aspect of battle. He reveled in the bloodshed and the frenzy of combat. Feared by many and loved by few, Ares was often seen as a force of destruction. He wasn't a strategist, he was pure adrenaline and rage. His children, with Aphrodite, Phobos, fear, and Deimos, terror, often accompanied him into battle, spreading panic among soldiers. Ares represents the grim and terrible reality of war. From the chaos of war, we turn to its complete opposite, love and beauty embodied by the breathtaking Aphrodite. Born from the sea foam, she was the goddess of love, desire, beauty, and pleasure. Her charm was irresistible to both gods and mortals, and she could spark passion with a single glance. She wasn't just about romantic love, she represented all forms of attraction and beauty in the world. Her story is one of passion, jealousy, and the undeniable power of love to shape destinies. Her symbols, the dove and the rose, perfectly capture her gentle yet thorny nature. Who builds the thrones of the gods and forges their mighty weapons? That would be Hephaestus, the god of fire, metalworking, and craftsmanship. Cast out from Olympus as a baby, Hephaestus became the master artisan of the gods. From his forge deep within a volcano, he created magnificent works of art and powerful tools, including Zeus's lightning bolts and Achilles' armor. Though he was the only Olympian who was not physically perfect, his skill and creativity were unparalleled. He represents the power of creation, the beauty of hard work, and the idea that true strength lies in what you can build. Next, let's follow the swift-footed messenger of the gods, Hermes. With his winged sandals and helmet, he could travel between the mortal and divine worlds in an instant. Hermes was the god of travelers, merchants, thieves, and communication. He was a clever and cunning trickster, but also a vital link between the gods and humanity, delivering messages and guiding souls to the underworld. He was the patron of commerce and the god of boundaries, a fluid and adaptable figure who could navigate any situation. Hermes is the bridge that connects all worlds. Finally, pour a glass and get ready to celebrate with our last Olympian, Dionysus. He was the god of wine, festivity, pleasure, and theatre. Dionysus was a latecomer to Olympus, representing wild, liberating joy and ecstasy. His festivals were wild affairs, encouraging people to let go of their inhibitions and embrace a more primal side of themselves. He was also the patron of the theatre, inspiring the great tragedies and comedies of ancient Greece. Dionysus reminds us of the importance of joy, celebration, and the transformative power of art. And if you're wondering why Hades isn't here, we've saved him for another video featuring the gods of the underworld. So what do these ancient stories mean for us today? The 12 Olympians were more than just characters in myths. They were a way for the ancient Greeks to understand the world around them and within them. They represented the forces of nature, the sky, the sea, the harvest. But they also represented the complexities of human nature: love, jealousy, wisdom, war, creativity, and joy. These gods were not perfect, they were flawed, they made mistakes, and they were driven by passions just like us. In their stories, we see reflections of our own struggles, our triumphs, and our desires. The myth of the Olympians is a grand mirror held up to humanity, showing us our potential for both greatness and folly. They teach us that life is a chaotic, beautiful, and epic story, full of forces both within and beyond our control. Their legacy lives on in our art, our language, and the very questions we still ask about our place in the universe. Thank you for joining us on this epic journey to the top of Mount Olympus. I hope you enjoyed meeting the divine family that has fascinated the world for millennia. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more adventures into mythology and history. See you next time.